Have you ever wondered how to get out of a headlock from the side? This can happen, in different types of crowds. We actually had a client that this happened to, so we're going to kind of show you the technique first, go through some of the ways that we can problem solve, and I'm going to give you some other variables. All right, so first, normally self-defense is an ambush. Somebody's come up and grabbed you. Now you're going to see people that took techniques and they come flying up and they grab from the side. You're probably going to feel that coming. So what's happened? You've been in a crowd. We had a client that was in an open area, kind of like restaurant that had multiple restaurants in the area, carrying a food tray. Didn't realize they had bumped somebody, so somebody came up, pushed them to turn, and all of a sudden they're in a headlock. So they actually used a variation of this technique, were able to get out. Also included a little bit of a groin strike. So it's a common attack. Again, self-defense, scary, it can be an ambush. If I saw Connor coming up to me, I'd get distance. But in this case, I'm in the headlock. So what happens, they come from the side and realize you're in a headlock. They start to pull. My body's really good at finding balance, not gonna let me go on the ground. So probably one or two things gonna happen. My leg's gonna step forward, my hand's gonna reach because it doesn't want my head to hit the ground. Not a problem. My left hand's gonna come over around the back, grab, because I want to be attached to them, so now they have to fight my body weight. My right hand's going to come in, pull into my chest. And it doesn't matter which hand you grab, what I'm trying to do is pin this against my body. They're squeezing pretty good. I'm going to pin this against my body, take some of the pressure off my neck, allows me to kind of free up my breathing as well as blood flow. Now what I do is I'm literally going to pop with my left shoulder. I then try to circle around behind them. It's going to be really hard for them to get leverage. I pop with my shoulder again, and what happens is I do this, it kind of slides and grab around. I'm going to come up, I hug them for a split second, I'm going to probably get a head rush, and we're going to go through the hammer strikes. Straight into the back of the neck. I'm going to do a double palm push and try to escape unless I'm stuck in an area. Now you hear a lot of instructors say you immediately need to drop to the ground. I call total BS because there's a huge disparity of size. You don't want to be on the ground with an attacker. If their intent is to get you on the ground to do bad things, you've just helped them and made their day. More importantly, you can't do some of these reach techniques where you grab and lift up in somebody's crotch if you're 50, 70 pounds lighter and or a lot shorter. So the idea is I'm standing. My body's really awesome at finding balance when you stumble. I'm going to build from that platform. Yes, down the road, if there's a variation of this, you get put on the ground, but I'm going to fight to my strongest capabilities to stay standing. So again, we'll kind of do a little bit different angle here so you can see what the hand's doing. So they come up and grab. Again, they rip you forward, you lose your balance, like, ah, we're having a bad day. So again, my foot stepping, trying to get me to not hit the floor, my hand might have went out in space. So again, they're trying to ratchet, so look, left hand's gonna grab over on the body. I wanna hug and stay close to them. My right hand's pulling in, so now my body is working against Connor's shoulder. So what happens is I don't break the grab. Can't always guarantee that's gonna happen. But what I do, when I pop, they start losing their balance, my head kind of slides around. And I'm doing sliding my head on the grab. You push, what this does, a positional check doesn't allow them to turn to me. They immediately go to the head, kind of short circuit them a little bit, hit that, and you're gonna work your escape. Again, one of our clients was able to do this, it was an ambush. They just did a variation where they hit the groin. Right now, continuing on with that headlock. Again, you're having a bad day, they've ambushed you. I'm gonna realize I'm in the headlock when my head's getting pulled forward, and again, I'm falling into space. Again, everything we do here is built off instinctive responses. We develop, repetition patterns that kind of build off the same principles, so that way we can also use this against variations of a rear choke as well as a front headlock. So again, Connor has me here. We're gonna assume that when they grab, they pull you down, I'm way down low on the ground. I don't feel I can get leverage here with this grip because I'm so far forward, but now I'm gonna look for target's opportunity. My hand probably did something like this to stop letting my head hit the ground. So now we're gonna make bowling a viable sport. It comes back, smash multiple times in the groin, boom. Okay, I'm gonna go back to what we just did, because this is gonna displace them. It's my hand smashing, gonna knock your hips back. We always kind of joke in class, say, definitely gonna get their attention, you're gonna make a new friend. I then go back to the grab here. I'm gonna try to circle my right foot behind. I start driving the shoulder, everything's the same. 1, 2, 3, 3 at the minimum, hit, we're gonna work our escape. So the end technique is exactly the same, following the same principles of self-defense that are proven easy to do, regardless of like the size. We just added a prefix where we had to go to our palm strike because of the way my body was positioned. And you can kind of feel this, and we do this through various training drills where our partner gives us different levels of resistance or pull, and I gotta just go right in my head and say, okay, I'm gonna do this. Now, as opposed to having techniques where I gotta reach up and grab the shoulder, which I'll show in a second, or dropping and rolling to the ground, because if I have to think about things on one of the worst days of my life and my brain's not processing things like normally, I don't have to go, do I lift this person, do I drop it back? But more importantly, I go to environment. You're on a stairwell when you get attacked. You're on an incline when you get attacked. You don't want to drop the ground. I'm on inside stairs that are concrete with metal. Hell no do I want to be on the ground. I just damage myself, if not potentially fatally hurt myself. Could I do this technique in a stairwell? Absolutely. I'm going to lose my balance a little bit. Maybe my shin hits the concrete stairs, but I'm going to be in a constricted area that's, probably 40 inches wide. I'm never going to be able to drop to the ground. And if I do, I could hit the back of my head. Could be the end game. So again, on this grab, you get pulled over. Boom, you're going flying forward. Now, another variation. My hand's down like this. I feel like I'm going to go to the ground. I'm going to take my hand, I just grab the leg, and I start pushing. I do the same thing with my head. Popping, popping, popping. I'm not trying to lift them. Again, I've been doing a lot of grappling for the first UFC. Back in the day, I had to learn decades ago techniques where you had to lift people. What they automatically say is, I'm going to come over here, I need to grab up and get to the shoulder. Okay? Let's just say I can't get here because they're tall. And if Connor squeezes a little bit, I'm on the shoulder. I mean, he's a strong dude. I can't even move his body. And I may be a little stronger than him. He's younger, so he's probably stronger than me. But my hand comes over here. When I pull into the hip, I'm now attached to him. He's now fighting my body weight. So he has to pull my body weight through this leg. It's going to be really hard for him. And again, I'm going to be here reactively using my body to say, hey, I don't want to fall. Now another variation is they grab in like this, they end up farther back on the side. I can't get to the knee, so my body's going to work against their hip flexors. I literally come around like I'm grabbing a football, push on the knee, still knee knock we always used to do in school. If I push hard and forward, their knee comes off. Again, my head slips out. My brain's like, hey, I've done this before, I know where I'm at. Wham! I'll automatically go to my reflex pattern, hit, and I escape. So irregardless of how I get grabbed, again, you're not picking and choosing this to happen, but wherever I go in space, I'm gonna have the same ending. All I gotta do is work a little insert. And that's where repetition comes in, and we actually can work this under stress, slowly build that subconscious reaction, and that's the empire difference. Again, now we're going back to that side headlocks. A couple different variations. We have people that have come in, we have people that have done corrections, some of the things that were taught, some things even though it's based on a grappling system, where the person comes in with a headlock, they're trying to get the hand in and are waiting. The problem is when they kind of ratchet and they get the foot in front over and down, my hand gets pinned in. I no longer have leverage. So my challenge is if you're waiting for somebody to attack you, you kind of failed in self-defense. So if we go back a second, if I had enough time to place my hand here, see Connor coming in, why would I just be like, hey man, what's your problem? Leave me alone. My spidey sense goes off for a second. Women are pretty good at intuition, right? The hairs raise up back to your neck. We all have been in the mall where you can feel somebody staring at you and you're like, do a quick nod. That person has intent, right? You're like, hey, what's your problem? I would stop them from grabbing me. Just because I know a headlock, I don't want to get to the end. I'm going to stop it at the beginning. If I can, I start de-escalating, like, what is your problem? If he keeps addressing forward, I'm like, okay, this person has malintent. I can't run away. I can't escape. I'm going to put this person down. That's where all my combatives comes, like throwing kicks and punches. What we do every day, we drill that like an instinctual. But the idea is I'm not waiting in a certain position, somebody grab me, I'm failing. It's just like letting the ball go into a goal and then putting a goalkeeper there. Doesn't make sense, right? Very common sense, but again, self-defense to be effective has to be on principles. Principles have to work for different body types, different situations. If I'm relying on this, now just say my one hand's broken, it's in a cast, right? You gotta really think about these things. So when Connor goes to grab, I get pulled forward, my hand still hugs the body here. Can I still shoulder punch? Granted, yes. I cannot pull on the hands, but I can loosen this hold up. Maybe my left hand lets go now and they slide. And we kind of play the what if game. And it can be a game that can go into some fun areas, can go into some absurd areas too. Or somebody's asked me one time, we were talking about this, well, what if both hands are broken? I said, well, you better have a bodyguard or you can turn around and hit him with your cast. I mean, it sounds kind of facetious, but the idea is self-defense, simple things to do, but when you use it on principles that are proven, and make it off instinctive responses, your chances of survival go way up. Again, we go back to some of the commanders there, like pushing open the door. My body will find balance. We build those skills daily, and the idea is, thanks for being proactive, looking to better yourself. If you want some more options, click below. We look forward to meeting you soon.